Hi, folks. Hi. Just wanted to do a quick hour check in with y'all's. I'm really just tired, and I'm going to be going on a trip this weekend. Well, sooner than this weekend, but I just need to do a bunch of things tomorrow. But I'm also just really sleepy. I actually wanted to do this earlier, but I was like literally falling asleep, and it's only like 7 in the evening. So that tells me how tired I am. Oh, folks saying it was just perfect timing. Perfect timing from for Ava because she just got home from work, and then Ronnie said just got out of the shower. Thanks. Well, if folks are able to do the daily heart me, which is the orange heart on top, that'd be great. If not, some folks are already doing it, but doing the double tap to give hearts. And oh yes, thank you, Ronnie. And then if people feel comfortable, you can give gifts and or you can share. Thanks, Azal. Thanks, Brandy. Appreciate it. But thanks, B Nova and P Wade. The Green Bird Brigade said it's only 9 p.m. here and I'm already in bed. So, yeah, no, I don't know. Thanks, Susanna. I don't know why I'm so tired, y'alls. Well, I mean, that's not true. I know why I'm tired. What am I saying? I know why I'm tired. Like, I literally run myself ragged sometimes. Oh, thank you for all the gifts that are coming in. Thank you, Watching Lady and Azelle. And I think Ronnie had given as well earlier. Y'all know I want to always say thank you, but then I'm like, okay, sometimes I never know if it's like, okay. But thanks, Kimmy. Heather B said, I'm tired because I don't sleep. That's me too. I mean, Ronnie says existence is exhausting. It really is. I know I need to sleep more. I like literally need to sleep more. When I tell people how little I sleep, they're like, that's not healthy. And I know it's not healthy, but I just need to figure my life out. I keep saying that, but after I started doing this, I mean, like my life is already disjointed. I already have a hard time managing my life sometimes. But even starting this TikTok thing, like it's really much more difficult because it just is. I mean, especially because I still want to be responsive to folks. I was like, oh my word, I wonder if there's going to be a day where I can't even realistically be responsive to folks. I already feel bad when I only give people a heart or a thumbs up or something on their messages. But, you know. Susanna said, I'm sleepy. My smokes detectors have been going off at random times and they went off at 3 a.m. How dare they, Susanna, go off at 3 a.m. That reminds me of when I was in Oregon and folks were like putting fireworks off at 2 in the morning. I'm like, what is happening right now? Diana said, how do we get sleep if there's so many Lukola edits to watch? I'm always looking for the next one. I mean, and that's the thing, like, so that's why I'm like, okay, I have to just make a commitment that I'm gonna have to be okay with like not being able to be as responsive to folks as I used to be because yeah, but I just don't like having ever feeling like people feel like they're getting ignored or something. I was going through some people's messages and I'm like, dang, they have a lot of messages in this one. Did I forget to like look at this one? And you know, y'all, there is still this one message that someone gave me a long time ago and they never saw my story where I asked them to bump it back up. But like I still know I have a conversation this person wanted to have and I still like didn't get back to them. And I'm like, who is it? um Oh wow. Raji says I have my university graduation in a few hours and I can't sleep. Well, congratulations. That's super exciting. Thanks, Kimmy. And being a title gifter too. Thank you. Watching Lady said it's 4 a.m. here, so I have to go to sleep, but I missed y'all. So see you tomorrow. Thanks, Watching Lady. I will be trying to upload some of these videos so you can watch it later if you want. Oh, Flower with with star says you need a board to write a big thank you and to discuss topics so you don't have to repeat. LOL. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Um. Hello, folks. Okay, sorry. Let's see here. Tina DQ said you care so much, but you can't be same to all, and that's okay. Yeah, I'm learning that I really can't. I mean, there when I started off very early on, like I could respond. I actually was responding to comments. I mean, today I did respond to a lot of comments via video, but like I used to like respond to every comment or at least acknowledge comments. And there's sometimes you see strings where I do acknowledge, and then it's like nothing because like it just happened to be that I happen to be free enough to like see all those comments and make sure to like them. But like but sometimes I just don't get to read the comments or and so, yeah, and sometimes DMs too. It's just, I don't want people to stop sending it because I want them to still send if they have, but it's just like I think I just have to be like one of those things where I let people know it might take me a while. It might not be like within the same day I can get back to people like I used to. Um, Ronnie said I still need to watch more interviews. I haven't seen them all, just snippets. Oh, I definitely don't think I've seen all of them either. LYSS, do y'all know why people are saying Nicola deleted some comments about Luke? What comments? I don't know what she deleted, but I'm fairly sure I can guess. I heard that she was deleting comments under his comment, wow. I can only imagine what cruel things people were saying. So I think that Nicola was trying to protect both herself and Luke from that kind of environment, and I am so happy that Nicola is doing that, honestly. And someone had said, I hope she was blocking them too. And me too. I hope so. And maybe she did block them and that's what deleted their comments. Cause I think when I block people, it automatically removes their comment from people's site. I'm fairly sure. I don't know that definitively, but I think it does, right? Somebody tell me, if you block someone, does it remove the comment from everybody else's perspective or no? Because other people have to block them too. I don't know how that works. But I'm glad that Nicola's making decisions to protect her space. I had a really good conversation with someone about how there's folks that don't feel like they can protect their space, especially when it's like a free space. Like sometimes people feel like they can do it more when they have like subscribers and actual people paying for certain things, but not when it's a free space. And I'm like, if there's things at your disposal to protect yourself and protect your community, you use it. And I think she did that, and I'm proud of her for doing so. I think more people need to utilize it because I think people start to think that they can have unrestricted access to people, or just because they can that they should, and that's not the case. The Greenbird Brigade said it's okay. I have a lot of followers on multiple platforms. It's not always possible to see or respond. Yeah, that's the thing too, Greenbird Brigade. I mean, I'm starting the YouTube, and I obviously haven't done much with it yet. I will try to upload some videos today. I mean, it depends on how long it takes to upload any of these things. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, it's like I'm like I can barely keep up with the TikTok. Like how can I do it if YouTube comes into play? And YouTube is a completely different beast. Like to me, TikTok is home to me because I genuinely feel like people relate to just kind of like I'm not made up. Like I'm like literally just I am how I am, right? And I don't know if I mean not TikTok, YouTube is more like Instagram where you have to like get pretty or something or like do something with yourself intentionally, or if you can just be like the same as on TikTok. I feel like it's every platform is slightly different in how people expect you to present yourself. So I'm like, I mean, no, right now all people are getting our lives anyway, so they're still getting the same thing as they get on TikTok, but whatever, right? I don't know. Yeah, Miss M said people can't be pleased. They were bothered he hadn't responded, then bothered how he responded. Yeah, and that's why I said, whenever you feel like you can never please people, like that is like the most freeing. I hope he finds it freeing, but he probably does not. I mean, it depends on the person. But to me, it's like if you know you can't please people, the one thing that you know you can please is like you can make choices that make you happy. You know, if everybody's gonna always already have an opinion on everything that you do, might as well choose the one that you can live with. I don't want to make a decision for someone else and then have them like hate on me for trying to please them like that. What a waste of time. Thank you, Yolanda. Karen said I'm sure she texted him and told him why as well. Um, I mean, she may have, or maybe she even didn't do that because she was trying to delete him before he even sees him. Because I mean, I can only imagine the kind of things that would require her to delete it. Kimmy says she's just the best. Bree says, yeah, how rude of people to do it under her post. Yeah, I'm like, I'm such a strong believer in people can do anything they want in their own space. But the minute you come into somebody else's space, now obviously again, they can do it, right? But for them to expect that she should just take that, and instead she made a decision, no, I'm going to delete it. I'm not going to have that in my space. Like, good for her. Like, good for her. Jessica Lynn said, yeah, good for her. She protects her friend. Yeah. Foy's journal. Why are people doing that? These people are human too. Keep your opinion to yourself. Gosh. I mean, yeah, like it's the same thing where I feel like when people at Nicola or at anybody, like at people, I'm asking people, like, why do you want to at them? Like, now, if it's happy news or good news, I can see the value of doing it. But sometimes people at people, I mean, at on like not in the best news or maybe just in their comments, and I'm like, why do you want to make them aware of this conversation? I guess some conversations are not like worthwhile for them to be exposed to. I don't know. Susanna said, I saw that. Why the heck are they bashing him on her page? Yeah. Sarah Harris 973 said he can't win with certain people. The Greenbird Brigade said, I'm so glad she's standing up for him. Protect our Luke at all costs. And Phillips says, no, I still get likes on comments that where the person had obviously blocked me. It's weird. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so just because you people are blocking, they can. Okay, so interesting. Yeah, because I didn't know. I was like, should I delete this comment and then block? But then I'm like, the minute I delete the comment, I forget who it is. so that's why I tend to block without deleting the comment, with the hope that other people don't see the comment. Because if I delete the comment, I most likely will never remember who in the world posted. Pen Eloise _ Elliott said being disrespectful with Luke also reflects towards Nicola, specifically if it happens on her space. Yeah. Kimmy said, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. So sad that people are hateful. Yeah, and why are they bashing him at all? Not even just on her page, many said. Charlie said, no matter what I was feeling, I would never comment on their post. Yeah. I mean, and that's that. I appreciate that, Charlie, because here's the thing. People can feel what they feel, but there's still appropriate places to vent those feelings out. Like, we know that there's certain folks that we reach out to when we just want to vent, when we want to process what we're feeling, but we don't go actively out and go to somebody's page that has direct access to that person and say stuff. So I really appreciate that, Charlie, like that understanding of like, I might be feeling this, but I still know boundaries and I still know how to respect someone and not put it into their space like that. I mean, I feel like there was never like when people say, "Oh my word, please, oh my goodness, it's just social media. Like this is just the way it works." And I'm like, "No, we make decisions on how it works." Like the idea that this is the way social media works, this is the way people engage, just get used to it, this is the way it is. It became that way because people allowed it to be that way. People can still change rules of engagement in social media and say not in my space, not in my place. Um and people may hate you on it. Oh, I've heard people complain. I can't believe this person's deleting comments. I mean not about me, but I do delete comments. But like I have heard people complain. Oh, I can't believe this person deletes comments. I can't believe this person's limiting the who can comment on their video. I can't believe. And it's like it's because it's their right. It's their page. And usually if people are doing that, something had happened that they're like, you know what? I'm going to protect my peace. I'm going to protect my space, and that's what I'm going to do. And again, if people want to do stuff on their own page, then they should. That's up to them, but they don't have a right to dictate how other people should what other people should do to protect themselves and protect their people. Ava said, I'm currently on the protect Luke train. I don't get hating on him if we want him with Nick. Yeah, thank you, Dowsy49. And Charlie acknowledges, right? There is a line. There's a line. And I'm so thankful when people, even if there's a lot of feelings, people still know that there's a line, right? Like I know that when I get fiery, like that's not like I need to step away sometimes. Like, like because I don't want to say something that I cannot take back, because the minute something comes out of our mouth. Now, that doesn't mean I don't make mistakes. I do make mistakes. I have made mistakes. I have apologized for it when I have made mistakes. But it is that reality that even when I do apologize for the mistakes I make, and even if that person accepts my apology, there will never be a time that those words didn't come out of my mouth. And there's never going to be a time where that didn't impact somebody in a negative way. I still own that, even though mutually we may make a decision to move on from it, And Philip says, I knew people just wanted him to make better decisions, but not that they would send hate. Yeah. Diana said, I feel like people forget he has anxiety, and I can only imagine how he's feeling lately. I mean, he rarely even posts anything. And and finally he does it. I mean, he comments something, and it's like, oof. This is why we can't have it. Nice things sometimes. It's the reason why we sometimes have people withdraw, because it's like, who wants that kind of energy? And so, yeah, I don't know. I have so many thoughts running through my brain. Boy Mom said, my approach is flooding Luke with love on social. The supporting voices need to be louder. Oh, you know what? That is really a great sentiment. Because they do have science around the fact that because our minds tends to gravitate or remember the negative more than the positive, it takes so much more positive statements to overcome just one negative statement. And so I also want to just do a quick clarifying point on a conversation I've been having on with folks around critique, right? So I did a bunch of responses around the critique. And so this is what I will say. In my life, I have been blessed with people who have had to tell me tough things. In my life, I've had people have to address things with me, right? And it's difficult to hear, but it mattered. I'm a better person because they address things with me, right? The problem with social media is even if a person does have a good, valid point to offer Luke, a genuinely good critique that has value to him, I just don't know if anybody on social media is the right person to say it. You know what I mean? So I said I'm open to having folks be able to share that, because I do think there is a difference between critiquing behavior and critiquing the person. But I know that it's a very fine line sometimes, and people can cross over very very quickly to the other side. So it's very hard to even hit that line perfectly. But even if a person did, I just don't know if people on social media are the right people. You know what I mean? Because the ones that have been the most effective in getting through to me have never been strangers. It's always been the folks that are with me on the daily and know me fully. Thanks, Kay Winnie. But I've definitely had tough conversations. So I think critiquing of behavior has been necessary in my own life and in the lives of my friends. We've had to have those hard conversations. And so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, but are folks from social media, are strangers the right people to be saying stuff to Luke? I don't know. I don't think so, because they don't know Luke. I mean, is it going to still happen? Absolutely, but it is. But I like the idea of flooding. I think it would be great to have folks just say wonderful things to Luke under WoW. Like, thank you, Luke. Thank you for investing so much time and energy to bringing us one of the best seasons of Bridgerton. Susanna says, hey, Bocce, I'm watching Dawson's Creek and that awful opening second song is playing. Oh, my word. I just recoiled as I thought about it. It's never going to be Dawson's Creek. Well, actually, no, it will be Dawson's Creek. But I try to not have that song playing because I'm like, what is this song? Okay, Shelly says, from what I saw, everyone was sending a lot of love under his comment and to him under the what's POS mean? Should do I know this? Point of sale? What is POS? Under the post. Probably it was supposed to be under the post. To him under the post. I think, Shelly, that's because Nicola's been deleting the negative stuff. I mean, I don't think she can stay there the whole time deleting all the negative stuff, but I heard she's been deleting negative stuff. Gianna said I posted a nice comment on his comment. Just a congrats, and we love our pollen. Vegan girl _ 389 said, yes, I think what makes difficult conversations work is the relationship in place. Yeah. Ronnie says no critique will be considered valid unless he thinks it's valid because he knows them. Yeah. Ronnie said, yes, you said as I typed. But yeah, it's and relationships are different. I remember my cousin one time was so frustrated with me because I had a mentor. And she's like, how come she can say things to you and I say the same thing and you get upset at me, but you don't get upset at her for saying the same thing that I just said? And I said, the relationship's different. The relationships is different. So I hear it differently because the intention feels different. The delivery feels different. And so sometimes, like, people may have the best of intentions and may mean well with the critique that they provide Luke, but I remember one time I was trying to get through to one of my friends, and no matter what I said, it just wasn't getting through to my friend. And so one day I looked at her and I said, I get it. I finally understand. I'm not the one. I'm not the one to tell you this. And sometimes we have to understand as people, we are not the one. We may have a really good point to make, but we are not the one to be telling Luke anything. We are literal strangers. I mean, we should. We could. But most likely, if the intention is truly for Luke's benefit, like, we are not the ones. We are not the ones. We're not close enough. We don't have that kind of relationship to be saying stuff to him. Uh, Lydia said, "I muted and play the original on for Dawson's Creek." I know it's just never gonna. I mean, that song is so connected to Dawson's Creek. I don't know how they think they could just replace it and people wouldn't notice. Whitwork P32 says, "I know with ADHD we have our inner self dialogue that is a constant loop. We are our own worst critic." Oh yeah, absolutely. I hear that for sure. Lauren said, "I wouldn't want random people that only see my professional career to critique my life." Absolutely. Claire, "I feel bad for Luke because I know I've been expecting a lot from him." Oh, I mean, and here's the thing, like, again, kind of like what Charlie said earlier, right? Sometimes we feel what we feel. But I think, Claire, you're still, like, you still know the boundaries. You still wouldn't be going to him and telling, I mean, like, putting it on his post or anything, right? You might, like, process it some way or other, but, like, you still know the lines. I think you do. Hopefully you do. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, Claire. I hope you do. Yeah, Ronnie said, "I said Phoebe on Dawson's Creek scene today." Yes, and I loved it because I love any Pacey and Joey scene, and that's like near the end of the they're like that whole show, the post that you gave. Well, was it? I think so. KM Shoppy said, "But who are these people? I don't think they are Nick fans." Oh, possibly. Maybe that's why they felt like they could freely post things on her page without like thinking about how that would impact her, especially as a person who has like said over and over and over again that she is protective of him. She has said that in so many different interviews, and she gets like mama bearish about it. Thank you, Martha. Kumirova girl said, "Just watched Luke in the movie Lake Placid Legacy, and his American accent is so good." Elle says, "Do you know any of the bad comments?" And Gronus asked, "What were the bad comments?" I don't know what the bad comments were. She deleted them, but honestly, even if I did know, I would not repeat them. She deleted them for a reason. Tammy said, "I made sure to post positive comment under their comment too." Susanna said, "I don't want to wait." Yes, I love that. I mean, it's so iconic and so Dawson's Creek. I just can't imagine why they thought it was so easily replaceable just because they didn't want to pay the money to have that. Minnie said, "One thing Nicola will do and has always done is stand up for her friends." Absolutely. Karina says, "Who's to say they didn't have a personal convo about it? People do too much." Whitwork P32. I don't know if it's actually connected with something else because it seems like it's lacking context. Whatever I was about to read. Gianna said, "Just feels like he's in a space where he needs something and it's not found on social media, and that's okay." Meg says, "I worry about his mental health with all the comments, judgment, and his not announcing work." Steph is enough said, "I recently heard that unsolicited advice is not given in kindness." Yeah. Yeah. Because if people are not ready to hear it, it's not going to be received to be kind. For example, my page, right? I'm just talking to whoever's choosing to listen. Sometimes what I say really registers with folks and absolutely loves it. But I remember one person who complained about it, and so I ensured that they didn't have to see it anymore, was like, "Look, I like your content, but I'm not here for life lessons, all right?" And I was like, I'm just talking. And this is just the way I process, and this is just the way I think. Thank you, Martha. And so it's kind of like if you can't accept me for my... At Penelope, you can't accept. I mean, if you can't accept me as Lady Whistledown, you can't accept me as Penelope. I don't know what the phrasing or statement is, but it's like you can't you can't say to me, "I like your content, but I don't like this part of it," and think that doesn't that's still part of who I am. Like, I am not. I am here for your entertainment, but I'm also not here for your entertainment, kind of thing. I'm still a person, and so if people are thinking that I'm saying things that they don't personally like, because they think I'm trying to be... I don't know if people think I'm being... I don't know. I don't know if I'm pricking something with some of the things I say. it's never my intention, right? So as I'm saying stuff, for some folks who are coming just for Luke and Nicola content specifically, and I'm going off on these side tangent conversations, and I'm giving my thoughts around it. For them, it might feel like unsolicited advice, and so they're not taking it with kindness, which I respect and understand. But I'm like, if you don't like it, just scroll on by. It's okay, or block me, or do whatever you need for your own mental health. But um, you know, it is what it is. I don't know if I should say it is what it is. I don't know if that's a dismissive statement, but kind of at the same time, it is what it is. I mean, I can't help that. Well, can I help it? Sometimes I can help it. Sometimes I care enough to help it. But sometimes it's one of those situations where, if you can't please anyone, might as well make decisions that are good for you instead. Giraffe Friend says somebody posted The Shape of Things and his American accent is great. He's such a great actor. Yes, somebody sent me that via DM, and I was like, I don't know. I can't promise you I can watch this. But it is like, I didn't even know TikTok would allow you to do like 20-minute videos. I didn't know that was a thing. Like, it's pretty much like YouTube at that point to me when it's that long. So I was like, oh, really? Interesting. Kat said, I just want to give Luke a hug. LOL. The Greenbird Brigade said, I want Nick and Luke together, but more than that, I want them happy, period. Yeah, and I think, I mean, obviously, I agree with that. As much as I would love to see them to be endgame, at the end of the day, like, I want them to choose what makes sense for their lives, and if that's not each other, then that's not each other. Gianna said, you can't have Penelope without Lady Whistledown. They are one and the same. Yeah. The Greenbird Brigade said Tiff met him several times and said he was exceptionally kind and sweet. I love that. Ronnie said, this isn't life and death. It is what it is appropriate. Charlie said, did you see Nicola got another job? Bad Sisters. I love that show. I have never heard of that show, but I did get somebody sending me like a copy or a link to probably an X post that shows that. So that was pretty cool. What is Bad Sisters about? I mean, I'm assuming they're about bad sisters, but what's the premise of the show? Gianna said The Shape of Things is so good. Marie said, do a poll and block the people that hate him. LOL. The thing is, I guess I could see who says they hate him. But I don't think anybody would be that honest here. M. Phillips said, yeah, I just went and scrolled. There are some pretty bad comments in there. So hopefully they can get that removed. Like, that's the time to get the PR folks involved. And because Nicola can't be sitting there 24/7. I mean, unless she just ends up, like, locking the comment section, which would really, really suck. And, but you got to do what you got to do. Cloudy Cloud said the fandom is so divided. The ones that defend Luke and the ones who attack him defending Nicola. Oh, yeah, yeah. Marissa said, who posted Shape of Things I want to watch. I mean, you can find it on YouTube, like the full video on YouTube, Marissa. But if you want to watch it on TikTok, I can't remember off the top of my head. Somebody did break it up. I think it maybe Kazul, or is that how you say it? Kazul. Maybe that person, or maybe it wasn't that person. I'm not sure. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I hear that. Okay. Minnie confirmed it was Kazul that did it. Danielle said, did something happen? Nothing happened in the sense of, like, all Luke did was make a comment under Nicola's post that says, wow, and then some folks chose to not be kind. And she started deleting some comments. But it sounds like there's more comments to be deleted. Tammy agrees that The Shape of Things was so good. NLC 80 said, all we can do is be supportive of what they do together and separately, and that will speak volumes. Busy NP said the carriage analysis really highlighted how incredibly talented both these actors are. Absolutely. Ooh, Lucky Ducky Ooh said, it doesn't affect us if they aren't together, honestly. Would I be devastated? Of course. And I think that's what it comes down to. Yeah, people are going to be sad. Yeah, people wish they would get together, but nobody would be like unhappy for them if they're happy. We just want them to be happy. NLC80 said, I looked it up too. Bad Sisters and trying to figure that out. Is there another season coming? Steph is enough said, I was so happy to see him like the post that a comment made me so excited. Yeah, I love the fact that he liked it. I wasn't expecting a comment. And so when he commented on top of that, that was awesome. I appreciated it. Gianna said, truthfully, how can you hate someone you don't even know or have ever met? And that's the thing. It's the same way where you can't really love people that you don't actually know. You love the idea of them. Oh, the idea of you, that movie. Like you love the idea of the person. Like even I would say even how much we love Nicola, we still don't know Nicola. We know what she has shown us, and that's what we like, and that's what we love. But we are still not her friends. We've never sat down with her. We've never had a conversation with her. We don't know a lot of things about her life. That's only reserved for people who are in her life. So I think people love and hate the idea of someone more than it is about the actual person. Because you can't really say that you like or love you love or hate someone that you have no real contact with. I think that's true. I'm sure people will let me know if they disagree in the comments. I don't know if I fleshed that thought out enough to be definitive about what I just said. So I'm sure people will counter me if people are like, nah, I don't think that's true. I'm open to it because I'm like, is it? Can I say that? Maybe not. Uh, Flower with Star says, wait, where are people seeing that Nicola is in that show? It was like a film update. Now, I didn't fact check it. It was just a screenshot of an account saying that's the case. But I'm sure there's other ways to fact check it, like IMDb or Googling if there's been some sort of announcement of it. Because I didn't get to do that. And that's why, I mean, I haven't even posted about it. But yeah, I had seen something about it that someone sent me. Pen Eloise __ Elliot said, going against Luke is not defending Nicola. I would agree with that simply because Nicola literally states how how painful it is to have people do that. That, like, she's protective of him. So it's kind of counterintuitive to attack or hurt Luke in defense of Nicola. Like, it does the opposite. It hurts her. Oh, my word. The blowing of the nose is happening again. Can y'all hear that? The trumpet. The trumpet's so loud. Ronnie says they're fighting a fiction in their head. Yeah, I mean, I think every time there is, when people are like, we project, onto things. So like even the post I did about, is it really about concern for Luke? Or is it really about people talking about themselves? Because I think when we don't know the actual people, it is more so we project our story onto them many a times. Like because I don't know him personally, but I have an experience around maybe these aspects of what I know about him. Then people really lean into that, knowing that part of what could potentially be true for Luke because they've seen it in their own lives or they've seen it in the people they love or whatnot. But it's still not Luke. You know what I'm saying? So it is still a projection onto other people. I mean, it's still a projection onto Luke. It's still us being separated and not knowing him truly and not knowing Nicola truly. We don't know what, I mean, sometimes we don't even know those closest to us, truly. But at least we still have more knowledge about them. Um, I just want to ask for my mods, when folks are muted, are you is it is it's just for the time being, right? It was something happened. Hopefully it was just, I mean, if it was probably, I'm guessing it was probably somebody had mentioned something about the adjacents or something like that. It's my guess, but I always wonder like when things get muted, because before I could mute folks for like 5 minutes or like um for the whole live, but it shouldn't be forever, right? Hopefully not. If Minnie, you could tell me, I would love to know, because I'm like, I never know if people get the rights to speak again. Um, and I feel bad if I don't get to tell them what caused it, because I don't know what caused it, you know? Because you're protecting me. Okay, adjacent, and it's just this live. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Minnie. So, folks, just to let you know, my mods know that I don't like any discussion of adjacent folks on this space. So, if they just see any mention, even if you don't use a particular name, but it's clear that you're talking about an adjacent, then a mute happens. Miss M said I'd be so upset if my closest friend was being attacked by strangers thinking they knew me better. Yeah. Ooh, Miss M. That's a ooh. That's a ooh. Ow. Ooh. That's a stinger. Because it's so true. I'm going to read that again, because that is like a mic drop to me. I'd be so upset if my closest friend was being attacked by strangers thinking they knew me better. Think about that statement. It's so true. Luke is one of her best friends, and people are attacking him in the name of defending her? Like what? Thank you, Heather B. Like, what? I'm gonna there's certain things that people say in the chat that linger with me for a while. This is one of them. Miss M, this is one of them, because this is so true. This is such a powerful statement, and I hope people think about that. They're strangers to Nicola. Luke is not. They don't know him better than she knows him and he knows her. Ooh. That's why when I feel like when people say I'm defending Nicola's name, like how? I had someone claim that they were defending Nicola by exposing her to rumors. Like, how is that protecting her, to expose her to rumors? And then saying, I'm defending you from these rumors. Like, she didn't even know those rumors existed until you chose to add her or chose to reveal it or show. Like, how is that protecting? You hurt her so you can protect her? I don't understand that. Okay, every time I say that, when I say I don't understand, that's a dismissive statement, and it means that I need to understand. Why would someone choose to do that? I'm sorry, I don't understand. I don't right now. It may be dismissive, but I have to. I may think of the answer later on, but like, why would you actively hurt someone in the name of defending them? I don't understand that. Jessica Lynn said, "Yeah, she does not need people. She don't even know to protect her." Yeah. Ronnie said, "Snaps to M." Yeah, that was such a good statement, and I'm as lingering in my spirit because it's such a true statement. Gianna said the way she must resist a clap back at everybody. Um, Heather B said, "No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. Just be kind." Vegan girl underscore 389 said, "I think it's interesting to think about what the role of being a fan really means." Well, I mean, folks, can you, if you want, could you put that in? Like, what are your thoughts about what it means to be a fan? Because I would find that interesting. If folks can put in the chat, what do you think it means to be a fan of someone? Like, what does that mean about your conduct? What does that mean about your engagement? Okay. Glaza Gabalio 908 says rude comments are out already. I suppose she deleted it already. Okay, good. So they it sounds like they keep deleting. So that's good. And Philip said, yeah, and of the bad comments I saw, many of them were in defense of Nicola. It was insane. See, that's the thing. They can say it's in defense of Nicola, but how? How can it be in defense of Nicola if it's hurting Nicola to read it? And obviously I'm making assumptions that it's hurting Nicola, but I'm making that assumption based off of what she said about Demois, and how whenever she would read something negative about Luke that she knew wasn't true, it would upset her. And she felt very much the need to protect him. And the fact that she's deleting it tells you that she's not feeling like this is a defense of her. She doesn't, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's for her. It feels like it's for them. Whoever them is. I mean, I don't like to use them because then, again, it creates this like visual of like no faces, no names. And that, I mean, obviously folks have faces and names. And so, but hopefully y'all know what I meant. Okay, so let's see some of the answers for what you think it means to be a fan. Ronnie said support. It just means support. Karen said being their biggest supporter. Jessica said you don't need to tear other people down to build someone up. Absolutely. And there's so many things, so many other ways you people can defend Nicola that has nothing to do with tearing down Luke. A TLR Vibe says love and support for their efforts. Chaps on Tour 1813 says being a fan is celebrating and supporting the things and people that bring you joy. The Greenbird Brigade, a fan supports the person from afar and is respectful of their privacy for starters. Sherlock 8901 said to support and appreciate the person, I believe is what a fan is. Lydia Adele 90 said the old rule online used to be talk amongst yourselves and fan spaces, but don't bring it to the it's cut off. It's just ended at raw. But Bree says to always support them, even if I'm sad about something, I express it, but I always praise them too. Pen Eloise _ Elliott said being a fan is appreciating the craft and enjoying the moments they share to us. Kimorova girl said someone who is supportive of the work that is put out in the world. Oh, actors. Okay. Real in front of the actors, I think maybe Lydia was saying. Glaza said being a fan is like being happy for them, whatever their choice is. I'm happy if they are happy. Oh, Retta said that's what Lady Whistledown did, and she thought she was protecting Eloise, but that's immaturity. Flower with stars around it says engaging with their art, socials, etc. If no longer enjoy those things, I'm not a fan. Veronica said support and respect them. If you're inclined to be negative, just don't. Vegan girl _ 389 said I think being a fan is directly linked to being supportive. Miss M said ideally a fan wants the person to not just succeed but also enjoy what they are doing. M said, Nick is such a Capricorn. We protect our friends 100%. Marissa said, being a fan means following their work, treating them kind, and defending if necessary. Whitwork P32 said fans appreciate their artwork and can cheer them when they have wins, also to encourage. Minnie said strong admiration for someone or their craft. Ava said, hurting her future husband is a no-no. We don't know if they have a pact. Cam Shoppy said, I wonder if these people are extremely young. I can't see an adult doing something like that. I actually work with adults. I can see thank you, Courtney. I can see adults doing it. I wish I could just say it's youth that does it. But I will say I've met youth that would never do it. They just wouldn't. So I don't think it's an age thing. I do think it is a choice that people make. Now, mind you, and it's not an excuse for folks, but mind you, there are reasons why people do this stuff, even though I wholeheartedly disagree with it. But it usually has a lot to do with their own hurts and pains, right? Because when people are happy with their own life, they don't do this stuff. They just don't. Like, if you're happy with your own life, you don't feel the need to go into other people's spaces, and say this kind of stuff. There's usually other things that's going on. Which again, I feel like some people, if they're the folks that are doing that, might be offended with what I just said, because it feels like pity for them, and sometimes people find pity worse than anything else, because they would rather I think sometimes have people be like rude to them and mean to them, because then you can return that energy. But when people just pity you, it's like when people say, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. Marie said Luke doesn't need to soak up her light since Nick reminds him that he already shines. Oh, and Marie, that reminds me of like that tweet that she got emotional over, about it's his time to shine, and she got emotional about that. That meant a lot to her, for him to get his moment to shine, and it meant a lot to him to see her get emotional that he kept that tweet, put it in his pocket. That's how meaningful that was to him. Minnie said, some of the messiest people I know are the ones I share a business email with. Veronica said, yes, all ages can project and are reactive. Britt said, as a fan, you support the person whose art you enjoy. You respect their privacy and friends. Heather B said, adults are worse sometimes than kids, teens. I have found that to actually be true. Because I've worked with both youth and adults. Youth are still in a place where they're receptive to certain things. And so when you're an adult, like kids are more used to people giving them feedback on life, even if they push back on it, they still understand how to receive it. But when adults are adults, they kind of feel like, look, I'm an adult. Don't you dare talk to me about anything, like, unless, there's just a little bit more pride that sometimes exists in an adult, that feel like, well, I can do whatever I want. And adults can. Absolutely. But I think there is beauty in being able to be corrected, or be able to receive feedback from folks about how the way you're showing up is landing. Busy NB said, I hope Nick is deleting and blocking as she goes. There's enough negativity in this world. Yeah. I hope she was blocking as well. I hope that Luke was blocking as well, to be honest. Giannis, but he probably isn't watching it as live as her team or her is. Giannis said, a fan is someone who roots for you whether you are winning or losing, up or down, highs or lows. Yeah. NLC 80 said, being a fan is enjoying everything they do that they choose to put out in the world. Miss M said, adults can feel entitled to respect for their opinion. Miss M, you're coming with some stuff today that I'm just feeling heavy. Ooh, adults can feel entitled to respect for their opinion. Here's the, that's a deep one. Because I think, again, that is so true, right? Whenever I express an opinion, I recognize that some people will never respect it and will wholeheartedly just like spit on it, right? But there's some folks that it's like, if I said it, you should just take it. You should just, like, the very act of opposing that opinion is seen as disrespect to them. But it's like, that is your opinion, someone else has a different opinion, it does not lessen your opinion just because someone gives you a counter opinion. Now, mind you, I do think there is an importance of like letting an opinion breathe, but yeah, this idea that just because I have an opinion, you need to respect it, and usually respect means like agree with it, and people don't need to agree with people's opinions. They can still engage in respectful ways, definitely, but it doesn't mean I have to say, oh, you think that? I agree with you. And sometimes people really have a sensitivity around people having a counter opinion. Even if it's said in the nicest way, it's just the fact that someone else shared a different opinion. People are already feeling defensive. Danny said, and he's still the internet's boyfriend. Brett said, I think people forget you learn and grow every day. So if someone is making mistakes, let them learn. Absolutely, I agree with that. Marissa said, kids are still learning. Adults think they know it all already. And I mean, and yes, this is true at different points, right? So there's a point where kids are still open to learning. Then they hit some points where they think they know it all. Then they get to adulthood where they realize they don't know it all. Then they hit another part in adulthood where they do think they might know it all. Like, and then you hit another spot in life where you're like, no, I really don't. Like, it's sometimes very cyclical in life. Thanks, Ronnie. McTit66 says, I hope Nick and Luke know that the hate are not coming from the majority of us. We all love them both. Yeah, and I think it's that beauty of making sure, like, it's so hard because the most negative will always feel like the loudest. So the majority the majority has to almost be very active in counteracting it and being like, no, you are loved, you are supported. I think sometimes people think that Luke is used to hearing a lot of positive things, and therefore I need to take him down a notch or peg. But I don't think he is used to hearing it. I think he needs to hear it more, to be honest. IDK said kids are more willing to change and forgive. I feel, I've seen. Yeah. Princess _ ENF's Libby says sometimes our opinions need to be kept to ourselves. Yeah, sometimes. I mean, there's things I think, and sometimes, I mean, there's videos that, like, my knee-jerk reaction I want to put out, but I think about it and I'm like, it may feel good in the moment, but you'll regret that, because some thoughts are inside thoughts. Some thoughts just need to be inside thoughts. TLR Vibes says, I also think adults struggle with two things being true at the same time. Yes, I think that's true. And especially when it feels like it's in conflict with their thought. And usually it's not really in conflict with their thought. It is just a different perspective. It's kind of like, the analogy about the elephant, that if people were standing at different parts of the elephant, somebody was by the ears, and someone was by the tail, and someone was by the trunk, and somebody was by the legs, and someone was by the body, and they were describing this elephant, everybody would be right. But everybody would think that it can't be the same thing because the description is so different. But they're talking about the elephant. And if they just listen to each other, they would understand that all of their description is actually describing the elephant. Patty said ADHD people are often insecure due to their struggles. TK says too many people confuse the person with a character also. Heather B said, I love that sometimes this space is my group therapy place. Heather, you know what? It's so funny too. I told y'all that I was just going to stay for an hour. This hour just came so, like I was so sleepy, but y'all like energized me so much that I'm like, I actually can stay longer. I'll probably stay until like 8:30. So 22 more minutes and then I'll go. Shelly said people who may be struggling with a Lukola heartbreak don't know how to deal with their heavy emotions. And yeah, and that's possibly true. And yet, yeah, that's there's truth to that. Yeah. KM Shoppy said, I've seen him in videos with fans and he's so humble. He talked with everyone like he's not famous. Oh, somebody did send me a video of him in Paris Fashion Week where he's totally ignoring his assistant or publicist or somebody because he just kept taking photos with folks, you know, and so it was kind of sweet. Like he wanted to prioritize his fans. And I know that some folks are like, he doesn't do enough for his fans, but like, you know, at least in that Fashion Week one, he was doing a lot by in the sense of like trying to make himself available, even though they're trying to rush him along to the next thing he needs to do. Lexi said, I encourage all fans to watch Luke's plays and other movies and shows. He is not Colin Bridgerton. Or at least he's not only Colin Bridgerton, right? He is Colin Bridgerton, but he's not Colin Bridgerton. He played Colin Bridgerton. Maybe that's what you mean. That's right. That's probably what you meant. I don't know what I'm saying. Marissa said, I have stopped myself so many times this week on social media from commenting. Self-control. Yeah. Okay. So Lexi said he is a rounded person and actor. Yes. And an amazing singer also. What an amazing singer. Glaza said, what if Nicola's watching you live and will join us? How would that be so beautiful? I always say that would be like an honor if Nicola ever showed up on a live. That would be very cool if that ever happened. And hopefully what she would find is something that she's proud to be a part of, That's my hope. I wouldn't want her to ever come into a live and be like, yee, Busy NP says he seems humble and sensitive. Hopefully he knows to avoid reading comments. Yeah, I would highly encourage him to, Ronnie said, oh no, you need to sleep. Well, yeah, Ronnie, I'm not going to be sleeping after I log off because what I will be doing is uploading videos to YouTube. I need to do all my backlog. Like I said, I will only upload things from the first day that from the 9th of July on. I'm not doing anything older than that because it's just too much. It's too much and it's become old news already. So it's not like people are going to be like clamoring to watch those videos. Shelly said I was depressed for a couple of days, still a little depressed, but would never take it out on anyone. Yeah, there's always a choice, right? There's always a choice that we make. We may make rationalizations, is that the word, in our heads about like, I don't have the bandwidth to try to fight this feeling, but we always have. Well, do we always have? I mean, I guess it depends on. Well, okay, I'm not gonna finish that sentence because there's too many other things I'm thinking in my brain. It's gonna get too jumbled up. Alex says fame is rough. Yeah, a fame I would never. I don't know the appeal of fame, to be honest. Most folks that are who are actors and singers and all that stuff, they just wanted to act and sing. They never wanted the fame. They wanted to do what they loved and they wanted the financial freedom, but fame is a beast. Lay said this level of attention is all new to him and I think he is adjusting. Ronnie said, which means everyone needs therapy, which I don't know if the context there for a second there, Ronnie. Chris J said, sorry, Chris J. I'm saying thank you for the gift. I do need to sleep. Oh my word. I'm literally talking nonsense now. I'm like totally like, maybe I do need to sleep. It's 17 minutes more for sure. Cause I'm talking nonsense now. And now I have like Sabrina Carpenter in my brain. Princess _ENF Libby said, I'd love to have him sing in season 4. I would love it too. Like people say they want to see him sing to the baby. KM Shoppy said, I saw today the carriage scene without music. Yes. Let's see here. Heather B said there are healthy and helpful ways to express anger, and some don't know how to do that. That's true. Some people don't. And sometimes it's because they weren't taught how to. Like, different upbringings expose people to different things, and so some folks genuinely didn't ever learn, were never exposed to it, and then never knew to pursue it. Now, the older you get, the more you have access to figure that out. Um, but again, sometimes if you've never known or seen healthy processing of anger, it's not surprising that some folks just show up the way that they do. And so sometimes, and when I say what I say, like, I hope it's met with the intention, because sometimes I know that that can hit people like in a it can hit people like as if it's condescending, but I very much am a believer that when we know better, we do better. Um, Fairly sure that's Maya Angelou, because I think I quoted it in my facilitation yesterday as well. But there's a lot of things that I did when I was younger that I wince at, because I'm like, oh, that was really dismissive, or that was really hurtful. I can't believe I did that. I would never do that now. I mean, there's always room for growth in everybody. So if they don't know how to process their anger now, I hope that they're able to learn how to if they want to. Kim said, I'm just bummed that Bridgerton's not eligible for this year's Emmy Awards. I heard that. Yeah. M. Phillips says, same. I like acting and singing, but not fame, even just shaking hands at the stage door. Yeah. And I think that's why when folks say, well, they went into this field, this is part of it. And it's like, but did it ever need to be part of it? Like, we made it part of it, but like, there were a lot of actors back in the day that this was not the requirement. But the same thing with singers, right? Singers like have to sometimes be on TikTok, and they don't want to be on TikTok sometimes. But people are like, this is the way you get known, if you just your song gets famous on TikTok. And so some folks begrudgingly get on TikTok because they're told, like, okay, your art form is not enough doing it the old-fashioned way. You have to get on TikTok and do it. Danielle, Daniel Lynn, 93, said most say it's a side effect to their job. People who love their craft don't. Uh, most say most love their craft don't. I wonder if I'm. Okay, maybe I really do need to sleep. I don't know if I'm not processing things the way I need to. It is so warm right now. The Dragonfly MI said, all the scenes without music makes me feel like I've intruded. Yeah, it's really a lot. It feels a lot more intimate. It definitely feels a lot more intimate. Ooh, great questions about the Emmys. Does anyone know what when the Emmy cutoff was, and also if they would be eligible for the Emmys next year? Love May said, I hope people realize that actors aren't obligated to use social media or to get upset if they aren't posting. Yeah, I mean, the thing that I've learned from my time doing TikTok is that folks do like read into everything, every like, every comment, every whatever. So have found that to be interesting um, because there's an assumption that everybody thinks that way, and I think there's a lot of folks is that don't think about, like, I definitely don't think about it. But now I do. I have no choice but to think about it now because people have brought it up to me. Now I'm like hyper aware. It's still not me checking, but now I'm like, okay, maybe I should take a picture of this just because that's what I did today with Luke's like, because I'm like, here you go. He did like it. That was the conversation yesterday. Okay, they'd be all eligible next year, but many is fearful that they will be forgotten. Well, not with this fan base. They won't be forgotten. But the people who vote, maybe. I don't know how all that works. Jenny said this past 3 months have been the most entertaining, fun, and unproductive. Okay, Kim said all 6 episodes needed to be released within the deadline for them to not be eligible. To be eligible. Then why did they split it if that was necessary? Or did they think they didn't even have a chance? Is that what it is? Um, Princess underscore ENF Libby said I started watching season 1 again. Um, okay. I think I okay. Katie underscore C said, but my recommendation is to check in the description if it's completed before you start reading any of them. Okay, wait a minute. I must have missed context for Katie's comments. Never mind. People in the comment section might know because they might have been following. Um, oh, okay. Minnie said there were some big productions this year. I think it was partly out of fear. Okay. Oh, out of fear that it would be overshadowed in this year. Is that what you mean? Um, TLR Vibes says, has Bridgerton ever been nominated for Emmys? Yeah, that's a good question. Pen Eloise underscore Elliott said Netflix made the split rule to increase maintained subscription. Alex, to elicit this much emotion, good or bad, they deserve all the awards. True. Kimorava girl said, I'm sorry if I keep butchering your name. I apologize, really. I'm watching season 3 for the 100th time. Jessica Lynn said, we need to keep rewatching, get season 3 above season 1. Pen Eloise underscore Elliott said they should do more episodes per season then. Yeah, I wish they would. But I wonder if it's funding. But then it's like, it's a pretty big show. They don't have money for that. Ribbon said, I just hope everyone stops reading into stuff because it's just going to start stuff and hurt people. Kim said, maybe they were watching the competition and thought they'd do better next year, in my opinion. Anna said they are eligible for Golden Globes and SAG Awards both on January 2025. Oh, okay, cool. The Dragonfly MI said we need to rally everyone to keep rewatching. They need a big increase to take this next step up, a next spot up. Busy NP said, yes, keep watching season 3 and let's get them to the top. Shelly said it's called Emmy nominated on Netflix. Okay. Mary said, let's get the conversation going early summer of next year to get them nominated. Okay, Minnie said season 1 was nominated. Stephanie said, I'm literally putting it on every day, even if I'm not watching, LOL. Ellen said, I know somebody told me how to say his name. I think they said like it's reggae or reggae. Jean Page was nominated in 2021 for lead actor. Miss M said I have episode 7 on right now in the background. Ho Ho said I want to go back to the month between May 16th and June 13th. The sweet spot. It was a good time. It was a good time in life. TK said I have it on now too. Shelly said if Tiff started a thread asking for season 3 part 3. That's so funny. Tiff is funny. Chaps on Tour 1813 said I've made it my personal mission to move season 3 up on the Netflix top 10 rankings. User with a lot of numbers after it said they previously had 15 nominations from season 1 to 2 and won 2 Emmys. Oh. Lucas's mommy said, I'm watching every day till I go back to work on August 1st. Then I'll be creating lesson plans and grading. Daniela said Nicola was nominated in the past. Kimurova girl said, I believe Queen Charlotte was nominated. Judy said we still have a month or two to get it higher on Netflix top 10. Millennial underscore Minnie said, for views to count towards Netflix top 10, do we have to rewatch all 8 episodes? Oh, that's a great question. Do you have to? Or is it just based off of hours and minutes? Because I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Gianna said season 1 came out at a different time of year. Um, Karen said background sound every day. Love season 3. Princess underscore ENF Libby said I've watched season 3 over 3 times. Um, Shelly said, oh, would love to go back in time. Let's see. Britt said, my sister's currently yelling at the TV watching part 2. She's struggling. It's her first watch. Millennial underscore Minnie said, oh, then the amount of minutes I've watched carriage mirror scene totally are helping. Gianna said, I saw a video asking for Bridgerton Christmas at Aubrey Hall. I think that's the video that I did a video on too. I just don't remember the Aubrey Hall part, but possibly, probably. But yeah, I like that idea of doing a Bridgerton Christmas special. 5 minutes before I've got to head out. Ellen said, I work from home and will have it on the background. LOL. The flower with stars around it says, I'd DK if Big Mood was eligible for anything, but I wish it was. Melissa said, I've got episode 7 on now. And the Greenbird Brigade again, confirming that it's the minutes watched only. Jessica Lynn said, no, just keep watching. It's based on minutes. Thank you, Ronnie. Melissa said, Variety is based on hours and minutes. Netflix is views. Okay. So there's 2 different lists. Thanks, Britt. The Dragonfly MI said, do you think they push filming to rewrite some of the script to have more pollen because it's so popular? I don't know, but I hope so. I think that part of the push out was the script. Someone also suggested maybe it's because Nicola's filming ends with for that magic faraway tree. Is that what it's called again? So that if that's the case, then maybe if they were hoping to have more scenes of her and Colin, her and Luke as Colin and Penelope, that maybe that is a good sign that there is more pollen. Johari said if they had released part 2 on May 31st, they would have smashed the Emmys this year. You know what, though? The thing I think about, though, is I do think it was a good move to some degree to end with the carriage scene. I just think that if people binged it, as powerful as the carriage scene is, I don't know if it would have taken off as much without that pause right there. Because then people had nothing else to talk about but that carriage scene. So I think people would have loved it with or without the pause. But I think it elevated it to another level because a pause was there. Because it allowed people to process it. And to kind of regurgitate it and live in it and think about it. In ways that having all 8 episodes I don't think would have happened. Johari said Jess Brownell said they plan to have lots more happy pollen and Lady Whistledown fallout. Katie underscore C said people have been saying the delay is also so Luke can grow his hair. Yes, please no more wigs. Or at least if they're going to do wigs, make it better looking wigs, because that was not giving. Pen Eloise underscore Elliot said Nicola used to work on multiple jobs at the same time. Well, I guess if all the jobs are willing to work around it to make it happen for her, that says a lot. Because time is money in the business, I would think. Ronnie said he wouldn't have because it would have all gone to the mirror. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That cutting off at season 4 really served the carriage scene very, very well. Miss M said a 2 week break would be okay, but the full month was tough. Yeah, I don't think it needed to be a month. I agree with that, Miss M. It didn't have to be that long. I think 2 weeks would have still been enough for people to unpack the carriage scene. Johari said they could have done May 1st for part 1 and May 31st for part 2 and achieved the same thing. Yeah, totally agree. Like I think the biggest thing was the pause, but I think then how large the pause, how all that stuff was not as needed. Oh, but I think maybe you're saying that to be eligible for the Emmys, as I'm guessing. Pen Eloise _ Elliot said the pause made people made people wanting. Marie said I prefer weekly releases. Yeah, like I like to binge, but there is something about savoring an episode that sometimes we lose these days. Oh my word, I just realized it's 8:30 and I gotta go. But thanks everyone. I really always appreciate y'all's. Have a great night. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.